Good morning, Coleman. Thank you for joining us on Coleman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Tuesday, November 18th. Coming up on Coleman Today, Coleman police say two out-of-town suspects targeted elderly shoppers at local Walmarts. Plus, Coleman's getting a new Chick-fil-A on Highway 157. And Good Hope pushes ahead on its new community center and a possible entertainment venue. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Coleman today. The Coleman Police Department says two people, Kivanta Donateris Price and Tiffany Carter, both of Covington, Georgia, are accused of running an organized scam that targeted elderly residents at Walmart stores in the Coleman area. Investigators say the pair approached older victims, convinced them to get into a vehicle, and drove them to local Walmart locations. There, they allegedly used the victim's personal information to open fraudulent AT&T accounts and obtain new iPhones, leaving the victims responsible for large phone bills that arrived later by mail. In some cases, police say the suspects abandoned the victims at the store with no ride home. On November 15th, patrol officers and investigator Nick Watkins located the suspects at the Walmart on Olive Street Southwest as they were reportedly attempting to exploit another elderly woman. Both suspects are in custody and charged with second-degree financial exploitation of the elderly and attempted third-degree theft of property. Police expect additional charges and urge the community to speak with elderly family members, friends, and neighbors about common scams designed to target vulnerable individuals. If you or someone you know has been a victim of a similar scheme, please contact the Coleman Police Department at 256-734-1434. A new Chick-fil-A is opening on Coleman's north side this week. Chick-fil-A Coleman North will open Thursday, November 20th at 6 a.m. on Alabama Highway 157 just off I-65 and will operate Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The restaurant is led by owner-operator Randy Ernest, his second Chick-fil-A location in the community. The new store will offer dine-in, drive-through, carry-out, delivery, and mobile-through, giving families plenty of options to grab breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the go. Beyond sandwiches, Ernest says this restaurant continues his focus on growing and mentoring young team members. The new location is expected to create around 100 jobs in the Coleman area. Chick-fil-A Coleman North will also plug into community outreach. The restaurant will participate in the Shared Table program to donate surplus food and will celebrate the opening with a $25,000 donation to the Food Bank of North Alabama, supporting local hunger relief. On opening day, guests who show up in a cow-themed attire can score a free entree or kids' meal while supplies last. The Good Hope City Council met Thursday night, working through a full agenda of projects and planning. Council members heard progress updates on the new community center and storm shelter. Concrete work is moving in stages. Brick has been selected and the building is on track to open by early spring with room for about 300 people during severe weather and a kitchenette to support senior programs. Leaders also talked parks and recreation, noting prep work for upcoming ball seasons and plans to add walking trails once grading is finished in the hill area near the interstate. The former Jack's restaurant is being renovated into a new local spot, with the owner now eyeing an early 2026 opening. The council agreed to replace the aging Pepsi sign at City Hall with a new digital sign at the park and reviewed parts of a development agreement with David Hooper and Hoopd Digital LLC. Members requested several revisions tied to job estimates, liquor tax revenues, and future ownership before sending the document back for more fine-tuning. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up, Wallace State's brand new flag football program just finished a perfect 20-0 season and brought home the first ever ACCC title. Sports is next. Welcome back. Wallace State's flag football program has gone from an idea on paper to a champion on the field in less than a year. On Sunday, the Lions finished a perfect 20-0 inaugural season by claiming the first ever ACCC flag football championship, rolling past Shelton State 27-6 at Rip Hughes Stadium. The win cements Wallace State as the league's standard setter in a sport that's just beginning to take off across two-year colleges. Head coach Daniel Howard built the program from scratch, starting with a vision, then piecing together a roster of multi-sport athletes and newcomers who bought into a simple mission: outwork everyone and play for each other. That mindset showed all season as the Lions blended a fast-paced offense with a relentless defense, rarely trailing and often dictating the tempo from the opening snap. Tournament MVP Taylor Kindred anchored a deep and versatile receiving core, while quarterback Emma Kyle directed an attack that was as efficient as it was explosive. On the other side of the ball, playmakers like Michaela Williams and her teammates gave Wallace one of the stingiest defenses in the conference, turning key stops into momentum all year long. Beyond the scoreboard, the championship validates Wallace State's investment in women's flag football and opens the door for even more growth. With a title, an undefeated record, and a strong core returning, the Lions have quickly established themselves as the premier program in the ACCC, and they're just getting started. Over on the courts, the Good Hope Lady Raiders picked up an early county win on the road Monday, pulling away from Fairview for a 53-25 victory. After a tight first quarter, Good Hope blew it open with a 17-6 second period and never looked back, leading 30-15 at the half and triggering a running clock in the fourth. Sophie Conrad paced the Lady Raiders with 16 points, while Lucy Adams added 12, and Ella Davis scored 10. Fairview's Whitney Quick finished with 10 in the loss. Good Hope improves to 4-0, while Fairview drops to 1-1. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, United Way of Cullman County's Designer Bag Bingo just had its biggest night ever, raising more than $55,000. And Harmony fifth graders collect 1,000 socks for Curt's closet. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. United Way of Cullman County is celebrating a record-breaking designer bag bingo, bringing in more than $55,000 at Cotton Creek Warehouse on Thursday, November 13th. The fundraiser drew roughly 610 bingo players and around 80 volunteers, filling the venue with fast-paced rounds and a grand prize package valued at over $5,000. Organizers say the event's success reflects strong community backing for United Way's programs and partner agencies that serve local families year-round. Presenting sponsor AmFirst, top community sponsor Publix, the UPS store, and Pepsi all helped underwrite the night, along with table hosts, board members, and an army of volunteers who kept things running smoothly. United Way leaders say the money raised will go directly toward meeting needs in Cullman County through education, health, and financial stability initiatives. Alabama homeowners who install a qualifying storm shelter at their primary residence may be able to get some of that money back at tax time. The state's storm shelter tax credit, run by the Alabama Emergency Management Agency and the Alabama Department of Revenue, offers a credit of up to $3,000 or 50% of the cost of a shelter, whichever is less. The shelter must be built or installed in the same calendar year you claim the credit. and meet FEMA and ICC safety standards. There is a $2 million statewide cap each year, so credits are awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. To apply, residents start with a certification request through AEMA's online portal, then use that certificate to claim the credit when filing their Alabama income tax return. Flourish of Cullman held a special Friendsgiving dinner Thursday evening at the Traditions Bank event building, honoring parents of individuals with disabilities in the Cullman area. Board members and staff prepared and served the meal as a way to say thank you to families and introduce them to the team members who work with their children and adults year-round. The nonprofit, led by CEO Melissa Dew, helps people with differing abilities live, work, and socialize as independently as possible after they age out of the public school system. Regular socials focus on building life skills, confidence, and community connections. Flourish is also seeking volunteers to assist with events and daily operations. Those interested can call 256-735-4186 or email melissadew@flourishofcullman.com. Harmony School's 5th grade Pirates and Pixies clubs wrapped up their first major service project in a big way, collecting more than 1,000 pairs of socks, double their original goal of 500. Students, families, and community members all pitched in, with donations coming from parents, former teachers, and even supporters with no direct ties to the school, including one gift of more than 200 pairs. The socks were delivered to Curt's Closet, where students learned how their efforts will help local children in need, reinforcing lessons on leadership, character, and service. The clubs meet monthly to build confidence and community mindedness through projects and guest speakers. Next up is Christmas Love, a project where students will shop for gifts for a child served by Curt's Closet and an elderly resident in a local nursing home. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week. Marcella Davis, 84, passed away Sunday, November 16th. Visitation will be held today from 5 to 8 p.m. Funeral service will be held Wednesday, November 19th at Hopewell Baptist Church in Hanceville. She will lie in state from noon until celebration service at 1 p.m. Burial will be at Hopewell Cemetery. Our thoughts and prayers go out to her friends and families. Now let's take a look at your weather forecast. Today will be mostly sunny and comfortable, with highs topping out around 75 and a light breeze. Tonight will stay partly cloudy with just a slight chance of a shower after midnight and a low near 56. Tomorrow looks a little warmer and still quiet, partly sunny with highs close to 79. Tomorrow night, clouds thicken up a bit, but we stay dry with lows again around 56. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.